Kiri Goes to School. Another story about Kiri.
School? Is that where I'm going? Is it like an education?
Yes, school is an education. However, there is an important rule. No repeating and another rule. No disruptions. Got that?
Okay, got it.
Alright. Now, on to our story. Kiri the repeating crow has repeated one time too many. She repeated to her parents, other children, at a rainbow world, and she was never allowed there again. Kiri's mom and dad were getting fed up with Kiri's repeating. I'll never get over this repeating situation, sighed Kiri's dad.
Me neither.
Agreed Kiri's mom.
All that repeating has gotten into trouble. Sentenced to the birdcage and banned from Rainbow World? What next?
You know what I think?
What?
I think Kiri needs an education. And I don't mean a repeating education, said Kiri's dad. I mean a real education in school for learning and getting along with new friends, not Julie and Ralph. Oh, I hope Kiri doesn't see them in school.
Me neither.
Well, I guess our decision has been made. Hopefully. Kiri,
Yes, Daddy?
could you come over here, please? Asked Kiri's dad. We need to have a talk. Kiri rushed over.
This repeating has got to stop,
Said her mom. And furthermore, added her dad, tomorrow morning you're going to school to learn and not repeat.
School? You mean education?
Asked Kiri. Her mom replied,
That's right. It's now 9 o'clock p.m. and I think you need to go to bed now. Tomorrow will be a big day for you.
Kiri said good night to her mom and dad, went to bed, and fell asleep. The next morning at 6 a.m., Kiri woke up, went downstairs, ate her breakfast, and took a bath to clean herself up. After Kiri was dried off, her dad said, Are you ready for school? Kiri answered,
Yes, Daddy. I'm ready.
Great! We packed up their lunch and school supplies, so now we're all set. Here we go! And off went Kiri and her parents to school. In no time at all, Kiri had arrived at school. Inside, Kiri's parents and Kiri met Principal Zunafeld and Kiri's teacher, Miss Stella Bella Bella. They all said hello to each other.
So, Kiri,
Said Miss Stella Bella Bella.
this is your first time in school. How old are you?
She's 4.5 years old, said Kiri's dad. And I think she's old enough to learn,
Yes, Dad.
Kiri said.
And I promise to never repeat.
Good work and not repeating so far, Kiri,
Said her mom.
You. Yes, well, anyway,
Said Miss Stella Bella Bella.
since your daughter is 4.5 years old, she'll be attending preschool in my schoolroom. You're going to meet a lot of children there. Come along, Kiri.
Goodbye, Kiri,
Said her mom. Have a good time, said her dad. Miss Stella Bella Bella and Kiri walked inside the preschool room by opening the door. The preschoolers were playing around until Miss Stella Bella Bella said,
All right, children, quiet down. We have a new student in this class. Her name is Kiri. Say hello to Kiri, please.
All the children said hello to Kiri, and Kiri said hi to all of them. It was a friendly greeting to all, and not one repeating scene from Kiri was heard.
I can't believe I'm seeing a lot of new children.
She thought happily.
Nothing can go wrong now. Now, Kiri,
Said Miss Stella Bella Bella.
why don't you go sit with the rest of the class so that we can get started on learning?
And she did. Everyone in preschool did a great job so far. They learned the alphabet, counting, to sing songs, and how to read books. Next comes addition. Miss Stella Bella Fella said,
Class, if there were two birds playing around and one more joined in, how many birds are there now?
Kiri gasped at our thought.
I know this one!
So she raised her hand and waited for the teacher to be called on.
Wow, Kiri, you have the answer already?
Yep, there are 3 birds altogether.
That's right, Kiri.
Said Miss Stella Bella Fella happily.
2 birds plus 1 bird equals 3 birds. That was a great answer, Kiri.
Said one of Kiri's classmates, Amy.
How did you know that?
Well,
Explained Kiri.
I am a bird, and so are my mommy and daddy. Whenever my timeout is over due to my repeating, I get along with my parents calmly, carefully, and without repeating.
Another classmate, Ellen, understood what happened.
Oh,
She said,
I see. Amy and I never gotten timeouts before.
then Ellen and Amy said,
We're good girls.
Kiri was surprised.
Wow!
As the class were continuing their addition facts, the door opened and out came 2 of Kiri's enemies, Julie and Ralph. Kiri caused trouble by repeating what Julie and Ralph said. They were very angry,
Well,
said Ralph.
if it isn't Kiri.
Said Julie.
What are you 2 doing here?
Asked Kiri.
You're not supposed to be in class.
Julie and Ralph mimicked Kiri.
You're not supposed to be in class.
Hey!
Shouted Kiri.
You can't do that to me. You're repeating me just like I'm repeating you. That's not fair.
That's not fair.
Knock it off.
Knock it off.
Okay. You asked for it.
Kiri raised her hand immediately.
What's the problem, Kiri?
Someone sneaks into our class, and not only that, they're repeating what I said.
What?
Exclaimed Miss Stella Bella Fella.
Please do something.
Kiri pleaded.
All right, I will.
Said Miss Stella Bella Fella.
There shall be no repeating in this class of mine.
Then she talked to Ralph and Julie.
You are not allowed in my classroom. And you mimicked poor Kiri. Very disrespectful and uncalled for. I have no choice but to bring you to the timeout room for a long time. And I'll be calling your parents. You 2 are in a lot of trouble. Now come on!
So Miss Stella Bella Fella sent Julie and Ralph to the timeout room to begin their punishments. Timeout is like detention or prison, except they have to stand in the corner for a while.
I can't believe that naughty bird squealed on us.
Snapped Ralph.
Wow, shh.
Whispered Julie.
We're in trouble for repeating just like Kiri. So we need to be quiet. Otherwise, we're being here even longer. Sorry,
Ralph said quietly.
I really dislike Kiri.
Julie nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, Miss Stella Bella Fella called Julie and Ralph's parents on the phone, but not in front of the preschool children about Julie and Ralph's school misconduct. Inside Adam and Laura's house, the phone rang. Adam answered it. Hello?
Adam?
Yes, this is Adam.
Well, Adam, this is Miss Stella Bella Fella. I'm calling on behalf of your children, Julie and Ralph.
Julie and Ralph? Gasped Adam. My children who were annoyed by Kiri?
Yes,
Said Miss Stella Bella Fella.
but they're in big trouble now.
What? Adam exclaimed. Big trouble? How could my kids get in big trouble? Kiri caused trouble to Julia Ralph last time,
Yes, but that was in the past.
answered Miss Stella Bella Fella.
Now the tables have turned. Julia Ralph came into my classroom, which is the wrong one. That was for preschoolers, and Julia Ralph are certainly not preschoolers. Then they saw Kiri the non-repeating crow, and they were mad at her. Julia Ralph wanted Kiri to get out of class, but Kiri refused to. They have no right to kick anyone out of preschool. But I got them out of preschool and into the timeout room for a very long time after they mimicked poor Kiri.
What? Oh, groaned Adam. I never knew Julie and Ralph would go too far,
Yes, they have.
said Miss Stella Bella Fella.
Now listen carefully. Once Julia Ralph come home, I need you to punish them with no TV, no computers, no dessert, no toys, no talking on the phone, no music, and no video games for a month. And they're going to do chores with you. Can you remember that?
Yes, said Adam. I'll remember that. Thank you. Bye-bye. Back in Kiri's preschool room, all the children, including Amy and Ellen, were really impressed by Kiri's bravery against Julie and Ralph. They decided to give Kiri 3 cheers. And when Miss Stella Bella Bella returned to class and saw Kiri's classmates cheering for Kiri, she smiled and said,
Kiri, you did a wonderful job telling me that Julia and Ralph showed up unexpectedly and repeated what you said. That was very responsible and very bravery. And you didn't even repeat at them. So with that, I award you with this very special gold star. Congrats!
After Miss Stella Bella Fella handed Kiri the gold star, there were some words written on it. It said, non-repeater and bravery. And that's Kiri,
You know,
she thought.
I think that from now on, I shall be called Kiri, the responsible crow.
At around 12 o'clock noon, it was lunchtime for the preschoolers, kindergarteners, and all the other grade students in the cafeteria. Well, almost everyone. Julie and Ralph were still in the timeout room being punished. When the cafeteria lady showed up with their food and beverages, Julie and Ralph were forced to eat nothing but fruits and vegetables and drink smoothies. They did not like the looks of those at all,
But why?
Ralph said in disgust.
Because
Replied the cafeteria lady.
they're healthy for you. You behave badly, so fruits, vegetables, and smoothies are all you need to build stronger bodies.
Ew! Yuck!
Exclaimed Julie and Ralph disgustingly. At the cafeteria, Kiri was eating her fruits and vegetables and drank her water from her water bottle. Unlike Julie and Ralph, Kiri enjoyed her lunch. Now it'll make her body strong,
Kiri, the strong, responsible crow now.
she thought. After lunch, Kiri and the preschoolers did a puppet show reenactment about the time that Julia Ralph saw Kiri and repeated her for no reason and were sent to the timeout room for mere minutes or more. And of course, Julia and Ralph are not invited to see the puppet show because they've been very naughty for this school day and are still in timeout for going into the wrong classroom and repeated Kiri's words to get even. Really uncalled for, Julia and Ralph. No puppet shows for both of you until further notice. Only good children get to see the puppet show for fun and laughter. After all the learning, singing songs, and played around for Kiri and the other preschoolers, the school bell rang. It was 3 o'clock. That means class is dismissed. And it was time for all the children in the entire school to go home, including Kiri and her classmates. What a wonderful time they had. But not Julia and Ralph. They're still in trouble after mimicking Kiri. Then at 3:05 p.m., when their timeout was over, their parents, Adam and Laura, came over to pick them up, and they were not happy. Julia, Ralph, We are disappointed in you, Adam said sternly.
We're sorry, Mom and Dad,
Sniffed Julia and Ralph. Sorry is not going to cut it, snapped Adam.
Let's go home,
Said Laura.
And you're going to pay the consequences of your actions when we get home.
When Kiri and her parents, Fred and Valerie, arrived back home, Valerie asked Kiri,
How was your first day at school?
It was wonderful, Mommy.
Kiri said.
We learned a lot today, except that Julia and Ralph showed up in the wrong class. They're the children whom I repeated, but I didn't repeat their words. They repeated at me. But I told Miss Stella Bella Fella exactly what happened to Julia and Ralph as she sent those two naughty children to the timeout room for quite a long time. Miss Stella Bella Fella and all of my classmates were very proud of my bravery, and for telling us the truth, she gave me a special gold star with words on it that said, non-repeater and bravery. That means I did not repeat in school, nor in front of Julia and Ralph, because I didn't want to let anyone down.
Well, good for you, smiled Fred. You know what I think?
What is it, Daddy?
I think Julia and Ralph are going to be punished for a long time. And as it turns out, Fred was right. Julia and Ralph are being punished,
Julie and Ralph, we are so angry and disappointed.
Laura said sternly. We know you dislike Kiri the repeating crow, added Adam, but that doesn't mean you can mimic what she said.
This stops right now. You are both grounded. Grounded?
Julie cried.
What's grounded?
Asked Ralph.
It means no desserts, no toys, no TV, no leaving the house except for school and errands, no video games, no inviting friends over, and you will never, ever see Kiri the repeating crow again until you learn that mimicking is wrong and that birds, including crows, are cute,
Replied Laura. Julia and Ralph groaned. Now go to your rooms, ordered Adam. You two are very irresponsible and need a timeout.
Oh, and one more thing,
Finished Laura.
throughout breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you'll be eating healthy foods. They're really good for you.
So Julia and Ralph went upstairs to their rooms, feeling miserable, and did nothing at all. At 7 p.m., all the children who came from school went into bed, including Kiri the strong, responsible, non-repeating crow. They said goodnight and fell fast asleep. Kiri is having the most wonderful dream of all, meeting her school classmates and getting along with each other. Tomorrow, Kiri will do it again because it'll be another school day. And if school is closed for the weekend and during the holidays, maybe she'll find her friends and get along with them again as long as Kiri has her parents' permission and not get lost in another location. I'm sure she won't repeat either. As for Julia and Ralph, they're having trouble sleeping because of the nightmares and punishments they had. Will they ever see Kiri again? Maybe not, because Kiri is more responsible than Julia and Ralph, and at long last, Kiri lived happily ever after, without repeating any words.